Last year, I set myself some pretty lofty health and fitness goals, and I ended the year looking and feeling dramatically different than I started the year. However, it wasn't plain sailing, it was a bit of a roller coaster year, and I learned so much. So this year, I'm going to go about achieving my health and fitness goals in a totally different way, and I'm hoping that this might also help you. So today, in this video, we're going to talk about how I intend to achieve my health and fitness goals in 2024. So first up, it's worth mentioning that I am very much pro setting New Year's resolutions and goals in general. I think that setting firm goals helps us achieve so much more throughout the year. One thing I think that really helps me is actually writing down my goals. And one of the reasons why I think this really helps me is it helps me be more realistic about my goals. So if I'm thinking about everything I might want to achieve health and fitness wise in 2024, I might add all kinds of things to that boiling pot of health and fitness. But in writing down my goals helps me be more realistic about what I can achieve. So I'm a mum of 3 small kids, ages 5, 3 and 1. I also work as a lawyer. I work 4 long days a week. So that doesn't leave me with a great deal of time. So I need to be realistic about what I can achieve. So writing down my goals helps me to prioritize them and actually work out what I can realistically achieve throughout the year. So for me, I want to move my body more. I want to be fitter, but then I won't necessarily be able to commit to a fitness regime that requires me to go to set classes at set times. I have to be a bit more flexible with the kids and my work. I am more likely to be able to increase my health and fitness if I do home workouts, if I walk from my house, etc. So that is what I'm going to do, and that's how I can be a bit more realistic about my goals rather than me setting out to achieve something that I am bound to fail at. So I'm not just going to write down my goals, but I'm also going to write them somewhere that I'm going to refer to them regularly. So I do like to have a paper diary, and my husband buys me a paper diary every Christmas. So I'm going to write my goals in the front of my diary because that's somewhere that I refer to every day, and then somewhere I'm likely to see them, and that helps keep me focused because we can forget what our goals are. Like, you may be very clear on your goals on the 1st of January, but come even the 1st of March, you might have forgotten what some of them are. If you're referring to them more regularly, then you're more likely to actually achieve them and keep working towards them. So next up, I'm going to make my goals input focused rather than output focused. And what I mean by this is, so last year, one of my health and fitness goals was to lose 40 pounds in the year. Now, I achieved a really great weight loss for me of 35 pounds. However, towards the end of the year, when I realised that I was more and more unlikely to achieve that 40-pound goal, I kind of fell off course a bit, really. I felt a bit bad about the fact that I wasn't going to achieve my 40-pound weight loss goal. So this year, rather than setting myself a weight loss goal, I am not setting myself a goal in terms of how many pounds I want to lose. I'm going to concentrate on input. If I make my focus changes to my diet, changes to my exercise and moving my body more, and not on the weight that I might lose, naturally it goes to kind of follow that I will likely lose weight. Next up, I intend to build up my goals gradually and not aim to achieve them all at once. So whilst I'm setting those goals at the beginning of the year, I don't have to be working towards them all at once. So I find this is super helpful. Whilst I did start the year last year with the 75 hard challenge, and that did mean exercise and changes to my diet all at once, ultimately I stuck to that for 6 weeks solidly, but I found it unsustainable while having a very young baby, and so I didn't continue with it. But what I did continue with was as many of those changes as I could bring into my days. So I made some really good changes to my diet. I found some really good meals in that 6 weeks that I really enjoyed. And also I made some changes to the way I moved my body and the walking that I was doing. I realised that walking alone really did make quite a difference to the way I felt and the way I was looking. So what I did, I took the changes, I took the elements that I really enjoyed and I was able to keep in my kind of day-to-day life, and then I started to bring in more and more changes as the year went on. So I was trying different things. I tried intermittent fasting, and I found there were elements of intermittent fasting, like not eating later in the evening, that really helped me out. But then I had more flexibility in general. And then I tried some other things. I tried eating like Victoria Beckham for a week. Whilst I didn't really lose any weight particularly in that week, I think like half a pound or something, I did find that there were things like drinking coconut water. Didn't realise quite how much I enjoyed drinking coconut water. But then also if I was drinking that, I was less likely to drink fizzy drinks. I'm a bit of a fizzy drink addict. So I found that changes like that were really super helpful. Until you actually try these things to see what you like and you enjoy, then you don't know what will work for you. But if I'd made all of those changes, like reducing fizzy drinks and reducing sugary snacks and introducing more exercise and changing up my diet all at once, I would absolutely 100% have failed. So next up, I actually choose goals that I will enjoy working towards. And this may sound obvious as well, but I think for a lot of us, we actually naturally choose goals which are kind of punishing ourselves, really. So goals that feel like we have to do, like you have to lose weight, or you have to start exercising, and you have to do X, Y, Z because it is good for you and you have been lazy and you are fat. And it's a quite negative way of thinking about things, really. So actually just choose goals that you really want to work towards, that you will enjoy. Think about things that you would like to try. Think about things that maybe push you a little bit, but not too far. And things that are positive, really. This should be about being kind to yourself, loving yourself, improving your mind as well as your body, and helping you in your overall life. You're much more likely to continue to work towards a goal if it is something that you are positive about and enjoy. And my next point is really linked to that, generally being much more positive, having a much more positive mindset. This was the biggest shift that I made last year. Helped me to lose 35 pounds, which was more weight than I think I've ever lost before in my life. And the biggest change that I made during that year was being more positive, talking to myself more positively. And I definitely have moments, like I spoke about just now, where I started to feel a bit more negative about myself because I hadn't achieved my weight loss goal, etc. And then I had to remind myself really there that I had done so much and that I had looked after my body so well throughout the year. I had made so many really positive changes. I had to talk kinder to myself, and that's what got me back on track, really. So talking to yourself more positively, coming at it in a positive fashion. I actively tell myself positive things, positive affirmations. Find it really helps me. One of the things that I say to myself regularly that really helps me is I keep promises I make to myself. So I make a promise to myself that I'm going to improve my health and fitness. I am going to keep that promise. So I keep promises that I make to myself, and also I can do hard things. It doesn't necessarily have to be that I'm doing hard things every day, right? But I can do hard things. So when I am doing something that feels like it is just a bit tough, I just give myself that little reminder, you can do hard things, and you keep promises that you make to yourself. And those two phrases really helped me. Next up, one of the things I think really helps me achieve my health and fitness goals is habit stacking. And this comes from the book Atomic Habits, which I found really interesting. Recommend that read. If you want to, for example, run a 5K and you're not doing any exercise at the moment and you need to work training into your day, then you would link that training to something that you're already doing. So say that you are taking your kids on the school run every day, then you would put your running stuff on, take the kids for the school run, and then immediately go for a run afterwards. So you're already in the habit of walking your kids to school, and now you're just adding in running back home. And then once you've got that habit sorted, and that's something you do every single day, then you add in another habit and you stack that onto something else. Next up, I'm going to be super clear on how I'm actually going to achieve my health and fitness goals. So it's all very well and good saying that I'm going to improve my nutrition, I'm going to improve my diet, but how am I going to do that? So for me, for this year, I'm going to start off increasing my protein. So I have bought a plan, a protein eating plan from Laura Try. I found some of her videos really interesting on YouTube. Go check her out. So I bought her diet plan, which I think was like $10, and it's super interesting, very high protein. And I have been reading a lot about how protein is much more important as we get older anyway, but very important when it comes to weight loss and building muscle, and that's something I want to work on this year. So I'm not necessarily going to stick to a really high protein diet through the whole year, but I'm going to try this for the duration of the 75 hard that I'm starting tomorrow, and then hopefully by then I will have changed some of my eating habits and naturally will be eating a higher protein diet going forward. So next up, I'm going to block out time in my diary to work towards my health and fitness goals. So I'm going to be doing the 75 hard challenge again starting from tomorrow. That means 2 lots lots of 45-minute exercise a day. So how am I actually going to do 2 lots of 45-minute exercise a day when I have 3 young children and I work as a lawyer? So one of the ways I'm going to do that is trying to go out early in the morning before my kids wake up as much as possible to do 1 lot of exercise, and also lunchtime exercises. So I'm actually going to block that out in my work calendar, block out a lunch break so that I don't get anything else come into my diary as much as possible. So some days I will have things in my diary at lunchtime that I can't avoid, and that is absolutely fine, but insofar as I possibly can, I'm going to block out the time on my diary, and that will mean that I know what I'm going to do. I have a plan for every day. So I'm also going to be setting myself mini goals with deadlines ahead of the end of the year. So when we set ourselves goals for the year, so often we get toward the end of the year and we look back and we think, oh wow, I was going to do X, Y, Z, and I haven't even got part way towards them, and then that is it, time is up. So what I'm going to do instead is set myself mini goals. So I want to improve my fitness, I want to improve my running. I started doing the Couch to 5k in November of last year, and I'm still working towards my 5k. So I've set myself a goal. I'm actually running a half marathon at the beginning of March, and that is a little bit absurd. I don't necessarily recommend signing up for a half marathon when you're not quite at 5k, but I don't intend to run the whole of the half marathon. So my intention is to run the first 10k and then to jog walk the remainder. So I know that in setting myself that goal of the half marathon, I'm way more likely to be able to run a 10k by March than I would if I hadn't set myself that goal. So I don't recommend setting yourself quite that kind of goal. That's just me, and one of my friends was doing the half marathon and I got like running envy. So if your goal is to run a half marathon by the end of the year, you set yourself the goal to run a 5k within the first 3 months, and you sign up for a 5k race, and then you set yourself the goal to run a 10k 3 months after that, and you sign up for a 10k race, etc, etc, and then you're much more likely by the end of the year to be able to run a half marathon. And lastly, my intention, if it's not already obvious, is to have fun. I am super excited to get stuck into my health and fitness goals for 2024, and you should be too. Make your goals fun, have fun with it, set yourself up to do some things and try some things that you have always been wondering about and never quite sure if you could achieve. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please give me a like, it really does help my channel, and consider subscribing for more content from me.